I was sick last week and ended up mainlining a pure stream of direct-to-video 90s sci-fi. Movies like Cyborg Cop, Cyberzone, Cybertracker, Firepower, and Virtual Combat. Looking back on that lineup, I noticed a theme emerge, and I'm still not really sure how that happened. Maybe Tubi's algorithm is to blame? Maybe it was a Dayquil. Whatever the case, I've seen so many of these movies now that I'm starting to recognize reused scenes and props. I've even started to develop my own headcanon where these cheap dystopian cyberpunk movies exist in one shared cinematic universe. But right now, let's focus on the one that started this recent trip to the trash bin of low-budget sci-fi actioners, Virtual Combat. Released in 1995 and directed by Andrew Stevens, a B-movie veteran who hopped from Skinamax movies to smoke-filled sci-fi backrooms, Virtual Combat, also known as Grid Runners, lands squarely in the post-cyborg gold rush where every small studio wanted its own blend of kickboxing and cyberspace. Don the Dragon plays David Quarry, a no-nonsense cop assigned to shut down a rogue virtual reality construct named Dante before it can fully cross into the real world. Quarry's partner, Jake McBain, played by Ken MacLeod, is sharper, looser, and frankly more charismatic than the movie seems prepared to deal with, which makes his early exit feel like a self-inflicted wound. Athena Massey plays Liana, a virtual companion created for pleasure and combat, who becomes the key to stopping Dante once the walls between cyberspace and reality start to thin. Dante himself is physically played by Michael Bernardo, but voiced by Michael Dorn. The setup of Virtual Combat is simple and blunt, designed to bounce us between warehouse shootouts and bargain basement cyberspace in service of fists, gunfire, and mid-90s VR fervor. Virtual Combat was shot in and around Los Angeles on a modest budget in an era when Blade Runner was the goal, but Power Rangers was the reality. You can feel both of these energies colliding in every fog-drenched, neon-lit alley. No doubt Virtual Combat is cheap, but like most of these direct-to-video B-movies, it believes in what it's trying to do. And though all the blue-collar workmanship, the reused sets, the cheap miniatures, the homemade props, may lack the polish of bigger-budget films, the final product is definitely something I can respect. The flaws lend a human element. It tells you people made this. People who cared about their craft as much as the big boys. They just had less money to throw at it. And while that may not excuse all of Virtual Combat's problems, it does give us a reason to look past them. Because it's not trying to be anything other than cheap, earnest entertainment. We can relax into it and just enjoy watching Don Wilson kick people in the face. Repeatedly. And speaking of Don the Dragon Wilson, while he isn't exactly the most expressive actor, his steady presence and everyman sincerity grounds Virtual Combat. The effects and the acting may let us down, but we know from the jump that we're going to see a guy nicknamed the Dragon kick people through walls. And while there's plenty of that, there certainly could have been more. Ken MacLeod, who you've probably seen in College Kickboxers or Showdown with Billy Blanks, is severely underutilized here. MacLeod is charming and his acting is better than passable for this genre of movie, but Virtual Combat's filmmakers didn't seem to know what to do with him. He gets whacked early in the movie, and he's sorely missed for the rest of the runtime. This is a quirk of this particular type of movie that I've never really quite understood. Why bump off a guy that could have added so much to arguably the most important facet of the movie, the fight scenes? Fortunately, Virtual Combat manages to avoid the classic blunder a lot of these movies fall into by making the villain a non-martial artist. Dante is played by Michael Bernardo, a bona fide martial arts champ, but while he may have had the kicking part of his role down, apparently his voice was less than desirable. Fortunately, the casting director made an ace decision by hiring Michael Dorn, Star Trek The Next Generation's own Worf, to dub over Bernardo. Though we never see Dorn, you feel his baritone cutting through the digital haze like Shakespeare in a back alley version of Macbeth. It's one of those perfect B-movie accidents where a genuine pro wanders in and distracts us momentarily from the cheapness seeping out of every frame. Athena Massey plays a VR sex program and she very much looks the part.
Hello, handsome. I'm Liana. I've been waiting to meet you. waiting to please you. And I'll do anything that you want.
But her roundhouse kicks rival the boys, and you can tell she's doing her own fight stunts. But like most PM sci-fi, virtual combat leans on TNA as much as it does fighting and pyrotechnics, and in between sidekicks and jabs, Massey manages to shed an article or two of clothing. And let's just say no one watching this is going to complain. There's really not much else to say about virtual combat. It fits neatly into that 90s wave of VR mania, virtuosity, Johnny Mnemonic, the Lawnmower Man, when everyone seemed convinced cyberspace was the next frontier. I mean, who would have thought? The difference is that PM Entertainment built its version of the future out of particle board, neon lights, and sheer optimism. It's a movie powered less by technology than by effort. Smoke machines stand in for digital worlds, warehouse corners are dressed up as cyberspace, and martial artists are doing their best to sell this illusion. Virtual Combat is a kind of movie that makes you nostalgic for a time when future sex karate thrillers were made with glue guns, nerve, and an earnestness that modern movies with billion-dollar budgets can't even replicate. And that's what keeps movies like Virtual Combat alive. Nobody's being ironic here. They're just shooting for something cool. Am I going to rewatch it anytime soon? Probably not. Was it fun enough to kill an afternoon while sick on the couch? Damn right. Before I go, I want to shout out a partner site I'm a part of. Screen Age Wasteland is a collab project that started several years ago between friends. You'll find news, reviews, and lists of all sorts over at our website at screenagewasteland.com. And if you're into longer form content and deeper dives into great movies, check out our YouTube channel at Screen Age Wasteland. All right, that's it for this one. Thanks for checking out the video. If you're into movies like this, hit the like button. If there's something you want to see me review, drop it in the comments and I'll add it to the list. Be kind, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and until next time.
Hasta la vista, baby.